and then to Panchatattva, and then to Radha Krishna, and we'll go to page 1 of the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Jai. All right, so we'll start then. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Pradamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasyadya Veshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai, Haribo. Thank you very much. And I see Uddhav is with us, and Pritam, I think you are there too. All right. Sharing the screen. Good. Om Jnana Timarandasya. Please repeat. Jnananjana Shalakaya. Chakshurun Militang Yena. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance. And my spiritual master opened my eyes. With the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jai. So thank you very much. We'll ask our wonderful facilitator and host, Vaishnavi, to tell us where we're at. I guess she's already done that. 1816, all right?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, so let's see, let's see if I can read it from here. Tantraivang satir haritarum atmanang kevalang tuyaha pasyat akrita buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmatihi. And the translation is as follows. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Okay, great. I'll do that one more time. Therefore, one who thinks himself the doer. Can we just go back to the verse one more time? Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. And in the purport, I'm not sure how long it is, but based on the length of it, we can queue up our readers for this.
Okay, it's really small, so Naman and his wife can read this.
Thank you. Okay, sounds good. All right, nice and slow and clear. Thank you.
A foolish person cannot understand that the Supersoul is sitting as a friend within and conducting his actions. Although the material causes are the place, the worker, the endeavor, and the senses, the final cause is the Supreme, the personality of Godhead.
Therefore, one should see not only the 4 material causes, but the Supreme efficient cause as well. One who does not see the Supreme thinks himself to be the doer.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, another installment of wisdom. So that term, doer, it's really powerful and it says a lot. Definitely when we execute something, we usually decide I'm determined to say, like, walk through the park. And but there's also other factors involved. the body, there's the legs, there's the energy, the endeavor itself, but your will to do so. There's the 5 factors there. But the 5th one is the one that we have to highlight. The 5th one is the ultimate cause. Ultimate. That word is really good, appropriate to use here. Krishna's the doer, I'm the doer. Like, say, if we give the example of walking through the park, but ultimately it's he who sets everything in motion. It's he who drives everything ultimately. And people who believe in this kind of concept are seeing the truth. They are seeing things as they are. They're seeing it as it is. Note the title of our text, Bhagavad Gita, as it is. And I think this is, to me, I find this philosophical, this verse and the previous verses where it talks about 5 factors, almost like the Panchatattva of the Bhagavad Gita. I think it's very philosophical and deep, and it needs to be contemplated upon. And also there's the concept of the neighbor, right? That the super soul is the neighbor. I am not the neighbor. The neighbor is different from me. Like next to our temple in Toronto, we have a place that's called Grant House. And it's a place where women stay who have had a little sort of hard time in life. They're trying to get their lives together. Some of them spend a little time in prison. They used to call those places halfway houses, but they're nice neighbors. And, maybe some of them had difficulties, but they're neighbors, and we need to know our neighbors. We need to share. In fact, we're inviting the latest installment of ladies that are there over at Govinda's for a free meal, like just to get to know them more. We need to get to know the neighbor, and because the neighbor is different from me, so I can't know everything about the neighbor. I can't even know everything about me. I can't, know. I have a blind spot for myself, so I can't know everything. There's things that people see in me that I can't see. And when you were a kid in school, somebody put a little sticker on your coat or on your shirt. You don't know what's there. Might be some little remark, a ridiculous little remark. People are laughing, and you don't know what's going on. Why are they laughing? What have I done? So I don't know what's on their minds. The other day, I was on a japa walk in Saskatoon, where we had a very successful Rath Yatra. I stayed at an Airbnb with 2 other devotees, 3 other, and I would do my japa walk in the morning. And it was in a new developed area, new homes, cookie cutter types, they all look the same, like a suburb. And I was walking in one area where some workmen had just driven in, and they were all just about ready to get started working. And they saw me. They all looked towards me, and there was some distance. I was looking for a way to get out of the construction area, and they all looked at me, but their faces were directed toward me. And they had some chats, and they said something that made them laugh. They were snickering, you can say. And they probably made some wisecrack remark. And I don't know what it was, even though I was not that far away from them. So there's a lot of illusion around us. And one of the biggest illusions is to think that you are the doer, that you are executing everything. But I cannot agree to that, because even Krishna says, Shabdiki Purusham Rishu. I know that we have mentioned this to this group before. Shabdiki Purusham Rishu. You know what that means? It means I'm the ability in everyone. And if you want to look up that verse in the index, it starts like this. Rasoham apsu konteya. That means I am the taste of water. Brahmasmi Sashishurya. Pranava Sarvaveshu Vedeshu Shabdike Purusham Drishu. So the first, if you want to look it up, I'd be happy. The first phrase says, I'm the taste of water. This is Krishna speaking. Next one, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. The next one is, if I'm not mistaken, I am the Vedic sound Om. And then I believe the last one, I don't think I'm missing any. The last one is, I'm the ability in everyone. So, yeah, we covered it all. We covered it all. So this, to me, is one of the most important phrases and helps us to understand I'm not the doer. The ability, the energy within me is Krishna. And so he's allowing me to walk across the park. So let us give credit where it's due and don't live a lie, live in truth. So, Prabhus, any comments or questions you may have so far about this? I can see Iritam, he's thinking deeply. His eyes are up towards the ceiling and he's deep in deep thought. That's good. I appreciate it.
Maharaj, I would like to ask a question that while in the purport it is written that the final cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that case, won't a normal layman attribute even his negative attributes or his negative qualities to Krishna, saying that I didn't do it. It was the final cause who made me do it. I didn't murder this person. I didn't do this evil deed. It was this person who made me do it. You know.
You're
I
right.
am a peaceful person, but why did this person not control me?
Yes, I think it's a really good question. And you made me think about there was a comedian, stand-up comedian back in the maybe around 1970 or something. He was on TV a lot. His name was Flip Wilson. And a famous phrase that came from him, the devil made me do it, right? Or Satan made me do it, you know? Let's say you commit a wrong, an obvious wrong, and it's your it's your doing, it's your body that propelled the action, or it's your thought, your desire, and you put the blame on the devil, or you can put the blame on Krishna, right? You can conveniently say, well, Krishna did it. I robbed the bank. Well, you know, it's not me. I'm not the doer here. Krishna robbed the bank, you know? Krishna had provide me the pistol. He held me. He held these people up, the bank tellers, and said, give me all your money. Okay. Now, okay. So it's easy to dismiss and say, well, I didn't really do it. It's I am at a state where I wasn't thinking clearly. And you know, when Prabhupada was with us, there was a discussion about that. Some person committed a crime that went to court, and the person was making a plea. He made some deal with the lawyer. His lawyer saying, "Well, I was at a moment where I was not in my right mind. I was, temporarily what was showing signs of imbalance, right? Yeah, have you ever heard of that kind of thing too? Some people get off the hook and say, well, I'm not balanced. I have a history of mental disease. And so on. So people then sometimes get away with it. And depending on how slick and how is the lawyer and the gift of gab that he or she has, sometimes these people get off the hook and they're just maybe given a little, slap on the wrist. That's it. You're bad boy. Okay. Now you go on with regular life. This is very common now, this kind of stuff. So I appreciate that you bring this up. Well, so now that you brought it up, maybe we can engage the devotees here. I would like to hear from the others here on this panel, if you will. And what would you like to say in regards to Dhanraj's argument? You do something wrong, you say, well, I didn't really do it. You just try to escape, and you you scapegoat. I guess that's the term that's used, scapegoat someone. It's not me, it's someone else who did it, So is there anybody who would like to make a remark on that? Do you have any thoughts on that? I want to explore this because it's good stuff.
Krishna Maharaj.
Well, I guess what we're saying, take responsibility, but some people don't take responsibility. Okay, so go ahead.
My thinking is that the inner desires, what we have, is making to fulfill what we need to do. So my desire is to rob a bank. And my desire is because it's to rob a bank. Krishna is helping to fulfill the desire.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I like that. It starts with desire. Desire drives you to do things. And of course, you're using Krishna's energy, his body, his intelligence, and all that. But you have to take the responsibility and say, I am guilty. And don't put the blame on God. People love that game. They love to say, it's Krishna who's responsible. You might cook some sweet rice, and instead of putting some sweetener in there, you put sand in there. Say, well, Krishna did it. Krishna did, because he's in charge. He's ultimately in control. So blame it on Krishna for the sandy sweet rice. People do that. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, according to my understanding, like three, we call it like a doer, or Krishna is just Krishna is a doer in the sense he's facilitating, but the real driver is our desire.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I like the way you put that. Yeah, facilitator. Yeah, God's the facilitator. That's very true. That's very true. But you have to put the blame on yourself, because Krishna, with his, let's say, with his love, he gives us the liberty to choose. He gives us a choice to go one way or the other. We are the decision maker in most of what goes on in our life, and Krishna gives us the liberty to choose right from wrong, isn't it? Yeah. So thank you. I like your explanation. It's good stuff.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna Maharaj. This is Haripad. I have
Yes, Haripad, I recognize
have-
your voice.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. I have something from chapter 3, which is actually the last verse. I think there, Krishna says, I'm just going to read. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, O mighty Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So, he tells us how to act, that your spiritual intelligence must be stronger than your, it's higher than mind, it's higher than the material senses, and it's higher than the gross senses and the material energy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's good. We can say that, because it's very clear, you're quoting from Karma Yoga, that chapter, which is all about action, and if you direct your action or karma towards Krishna, that's Karma Yoga. Yeah, beautifully put. Very nice. Yeah, you can say it's a lust. Lust is what's done it. Lust is what's making things difficult for me. I can't control my lust. I've had multiple affairs with different people, and it's the lust that's driving this. But you also have to, as you say, use your good intelligence and learn how to control lust. Just like you have to control, maybe you have a weakness towards chocolate. Okay, take some chocolate. How much are you going to take? There has to be some limit, you know. In the early days when we joined the movement, when we were young, we were encouraged by Prabhupada to eat like anything, to almost eat like a pig for Krishna. Then after a while, you realize I have to put some checks and balances into place. I have to do that. He's not going to do it for me, but he's going to encourage me to check my senses. He does. That's what the Gita, the message is all about. Check yourself. Krishna is telling Arjuna, check yourself. Don't let this sort of wimpish tendency that you have to not do your duty it must, don't let it overwhelm you. You know, you have to check yourself all the time. Reality checks.
Hare Krishna
Good.
Maharaj, this is Vasanta. I have a question. So we are born to, get over our desires, but how about our aversions? Do we, we also have a lot of aversions. So
Right.
fears and aversions. So we have to get over that too, correct?
Yes. With the group that I was chatting with yesterday from South, was the group, no, from Ontario mostly. 727, maybe you want to look that up. 727. And it addresses the reason why we're here in the material world and the reason why we stay here through series of lives. Ichidvesha samutena dvandva mohena bharata. Would you all like to look that up? I think it's really good. Yeah. I hope I have the right verse. Okay, yeah. So
It is the correct one, Maharaj.
yeah.
Yeah.
So may I point something out to you? Prabhupada explains this as being the reason for our being in the material world. So here it is, O Scion of Bharat, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities. Can we just stick to, okay. All living entities are born into delusion. Okay, that's for sure. We're all born here into this world with shortcomings. Okay, bewildered by dualities. Okay, yes, we all have dualities, and the strongest dualities are desire and hate. Okay, we are in this material world because we seek independence. We have a very strong desire, very strong ambition, strong loves. So it's love and hate that bring us here to this world and keep us here. If you have contemptuous tendencies towards others and or you fear others, this is a great insecurity, and it's the insecurities that put us here and keep us here. Desire is also an insecurity. You know, love is not that romance stuff that people talk about. Love is not, enjoying your favorite ice cream cone. It's none of, love is much deeper, and it involves service to others, selfless service, like a child, a parent has for one's baby. That's the kind of thing. So if someone asks the classic question, why are we here? Why am I here in this material world? Suffering or going through the dualities, then I would point to this verse here. I think it answers the question. Ichidvesha samutena dvandva mohena bharata. So it's the desires, which you can sort of make the synonym to lust, and hatred, that makes it hard for us and keeps us locked inside like prisoners. Yes. So thank you for that question. I think
Thank you, Maharaj.
it does tie into our topic, right? So really, if anybody asks this question, and it's quite common, why? Why I didn't want, I don't like this world. A lot of people don't care for it so much. It's too much pain, suffering. There are moments of exhilaration, there's moments of stimulation, but it's a lot of pain that people go through. And when you look at the end of people's lives, after they've contributed so much, they end up in pain and misery, achieving dementia, Parkinson's, cancers, this and that, and yeah, so you look at it, Dukkhaliyam Shashvatam, or the world of duality. Why am I here? Well, the answer is there, 727. May that be learned and memorized so you can answer the question when people come up with it.
Would this also be that, sometimes, when you look at people suffering and you keep thinking, how can, I can never put up with that. How does this person put up with that? Maybe, to show that you can, maybe you're born so that you can get over that fear of suffering too. Is it true?
Yes. Can you just paraphrase that a little bit so I want to understand it completely?
Yes, for example, you look at a blind person and you
Yes.
keep thinking, how can this person, really, we can't imagine how that person survives. So if you have a special aversion to that, or, any disability or retardation or whatever, mental retardation, and you keep thinking, oh my God, thank God I'm not like that. My child is not like that. So if you have a special aversion to that, are you reborn as so that you can get over that too?
Oh, I see. I see. Well, I mean, there's some things that make us appalled. I would say, from a devotee's point of view, it should generate some kind of compassion, right? I think that what you brought up, that says, I'm grateful I don't have that.
Yeah.
You're at an advantage, you see. And so because you are at that advantage, you can maybe reach out to that person and show some kindness. It's an opportunity. Either there's two kinds of people in this world, those who can serve and those that need to be served, right? So you're either in one place or the other. And if your karma is such that you have ability, you have strength, wisdom, and you're competent, then consider that a blessing from Krishna. And that now it is to be used in his service through serving others, So I think as devotees, it's incumbent upon them to go out of their way to be nice to people who are going through a tough time. And I find that in my travels, because I don't follow one routine. Like I'm not in a rut, in a routine, because I'm traveling everywhere, meeting all kinds of people, and depending on the season, the summertime I find people are a little nicer. Well, if you're in Florida, I think they're probably more grumpy, and they're happier in the winter. The weather's more tolerable, but whatever the circumstance is. See all situations as opportunities to serve others. If someone's struggling, see it, oh, I must help that person. Krishna will be pleased with my reaching out to one of his creatures, to one of his living beings. That's the way I would see it. And in terms of if you have some aversion towards let's say someone being mentally retarded and so on. I'm not sure if that's the way I would register that. I would again see it as an opportunity. Someone is less fortunate than me. Let me try to make them fortunate and feel a sense of gratitude. Well, I'm not in that position. I can serve that person somehow, just with some sweet words, just with some kind gesture. A person is blind. I remember I had my god sister Padyavali. She had to be in a senior's home, and the last 3 times I visited her, I fed her with a spoon, and I was happy. I felt really bad for her because she had done so many beautiful things for Prabhupada's mission, and now she's not capable. So, in deep down inside, I was feeling for her that she can't do this anymore, not capable, didn't have the strength. But I had the strength. I said, let me do this as a service. I think Krishna would want me to extend my hand out to help her. Yeah.
And
Did anybody ever see the film Driving Miss Daisy?
yeah, I did.
Do you remember that?
Right.
I remember going to seeing on the flight because I don't see movies only when I'm in the plane, and usually if there's historical. And so in the end, the driver, who was a African American, he was driving a well-off-to-do aging Jewish woman, Jessica Tandy, I think was her name, and his name I don't know. He's got quite a beautiful voice. So at the end, when she was suffering from one of those
Morgan
common
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
Okay.
So such a
Morgan,
touching scene in the end. I think that got me motivated. Oh, look at he's serving her, you know. And he was a chauffeur. He was driving her, and it was a time when people had more strong racial, let's say, attitudes. And now he was just feeling compelled to serve her because she couldn't do it anymore. Oh, the acting was just fantastic. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story it is. It touches the human heart, you know. So I think everything must boil down to opportunities to serve. And let's say some misfortune comes my way, I become blind. And then what does it mean? At least I can chant. I can't see, but I can chant. And the beautiful story of Bilba Mangal Thakur, he blinded himself.
Oh my God.
Because he felt that his eyes led him astray, took him to Maya. So he blinded himself. And then he met with a little boy in Vrindavan. As he was making his journey there, his guru said, go to Vrindavan, go to see Krishna. So he met a little boy. They met regularly, on a regular basis. And then he realized at one point, the little boy is Krishna. And then when he realized that, he tried to grab his feet. And Krishna was a little bit, like a frivolous. He just tried to slip away. And he laughed and laughed. And then Bilba Mangal would say, like his realization, I am blind. I cannot see you. You may have slipped from my hands. I tried to touch your feet, but you have not slipped from my heart. Oh, beautiful story, right? In fact, blind people, they become while their sense of sight has been depleted, the other senses can become amplified because now the sense of touch is important. You feel textures. You hear sound. You perk up to sounds. You understand what I'm saying? The smelling powers, the nostrils, they become somewhat invoked because you're trying to understand you strengthen these other senses because one has become dulled. So you have to look at the positive side of everything. Is that
That is-
okay?
Yeah. Thank you,
Count,
Bharat.
count your blessings. That's, when I was on my first walk across Canada, I met my English teacher. Never really had a conversation with her, but she saw that I was on the front page of the newspaper where I was born, in that town, Chatham, Ontario. And then she saw me. She pulled over, and of course she read what I was doing, and she was very appreciative of that. And you know, we went to just talk about life itself, and our conclusion was count your blessings. Don't count what went wrong. Count what is going right. And then you're an optimist. And an optimist is someone who can overcome all difficulties. Queen Kunti was an optimist, the mother of the Pandavas. So much happened to her and her family, but she was just thinking about the good out of that came out of it all. So we have to somehow or other adapt to these kind of mentalities, this kind of spirit. Vipada santutashashvat. Vipada, you know, pada means taking a footstep. Vipada means when you step in the wrong place. So she was saying to Krishna, we've stepped in many wrong places, but one good step is that you are in our lives. And when we think of you, there's no more repeated birth and death. So keep giving us more of that. Lay on the problems, give us the calamities. Right? Any other questions on the topic?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hari, Hari.
Something happened to me yesterday, and it's a little related to what we were talking about. So, I was going to the post office, and with my coworker, and I see this homeless guy, and he basically he was asking. He said, "Oh, I'm homeless. I have a wife. I have 2 kids, and I just want something to eat." He was convincing me to get something, so I wouldn't mind giving me like some apples or something. But then he said something that offended me, and I couldn't help him, because he said God is not real, and I said, you can make a fool out of me, which is fine, but I can't tolerate you disrespecting God. So I said I can't help you, sorry, and I left. So I don't know what would you say or do in that situation, because I don't I don't know how to handle, like, I know I'm a great fool. I'm dumb too, so I don't know. But
well, thank you for relaying the story. I mean, here's a person who's reaching out his hands, and I need some help. First of all, the lines that he gave are pretty classical. So he's got a wife, he's got kids, and he's asking for food for himself. If I was in his shoes, I'd say, I need it for them. They come before I do. And why did he make a remark like that about God? In what context? Why does he have to say that? I mean, it's quite stupid. He's asking you for help, but what if you were a firm believer in the absolute? I don't think he was very bright, not very intelligent, to make that remark about God.
I think sometimes angry people, when people get angry with their fate or whatever, they say things like that. I've heard people say that, and it's kind of difficult to convince them that.
Yes. Again, they're not counting the blessings that came from God. They've got a mindset that everything is dark, everything's dreary, everything's negative for them. A lot of people are raised in that culture now. I find that it's very prevalent. And a lot of people that I know who do social work and are in the medical field, they do try their best to help people. but they don't get much gratitude from people. There's a really strong entitlement, let's say derision in people's lives. They're not very quick to say thank you, you're so kind, bless you. You don't hear that. They just feel, I'm entitled, I deserve this, and you offer them something and what they ask, and there's hardly a mention of expression of gratitude. That's what's missing in the modern world. We've lost out on some very deep foundational sentiments, and what can I say? You're asking me how I would have dealt with it. If you said that to me, I don't believe in God. I said, well, or God is this or that. I would probably say, well, why do you say that? I'd argue with them. Why do you say that? You're asking for a favor. You're coming on a humble way. Why would you now speak with arrogance, almost in the same breath? Why in the same sentence you would say, please help me, and then insult the person who is providing you the food or the money?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is
Yes.
Murli here. I feel that Arjun's relativity with life is very common now. Maybe the expectation for the other person is not an apple. The desire could be, more than what he offered. That could be also the thought process. And regarding such people, the kind of work I do every day, I meet, I'm with them every day working with those kind of people. So it's just that their desire, their want is so high that they forget their needs.
No, yes, for this Murli, right? Yes. Good points.
Perhaps
Good point.
to Arjun Prabhu, I would just give him the apple and say, if God is not real, then who's making me give you this apple? Perhaps that would be a good place to leave it.
Yeah, there's definitely different angles in which you can approach it. Yeah. Who made the apple? Exactly. Who made the apple? Yeah. I mean, you can certainly have fun. A lot of people are really confused now. When someone's poverty stricken, that's one thing, but if they're poverty stricken and they're all strung out on drugs, which is oftentimes the case, isn't it, Murli? Then
That's right.
you're dealing with a very well, what shall I say, confused situation. I remember just giving a fellow, it was in the nighttime, I was in Montreal, and a fellow had his dog, hey, do you have anything? I got to feed my dog. So I gave him, I think I had in my pocket a dime and a penny. Of course, we don't have pennies anymore in Canada. But it was like, that's all I had. This is all I have. And I thought it might contribute to, like if he gets a few donations, it'll add up. But he said, he just looked at it, what I put in his hand, and he just said, you prick. I mean, where's the gratitude? I was very honest about it. That's all I have. I'm sorry. I wish I could do more. For any penny that comes your way that you may not necessarily deserve, we should be grateful, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of sad that so many people are so angry, that
Yeah.
the world around you, you feel that pain too.
Well, where do some of these attitudes come from? Parents, music, like I was talking to a number of devotees, the kind of music that we hear, it's often about anger and being, let's say, detesting the world and in a cursing mode. Yeah, anger is definitely there. And those of us who study the Bhagavad Gita, students of Bhagavad Gita, we can appreciate that anger arises from, it starts off with a simple little thing like I see a ladybug here on my picnic table, and she's probably eating something. It could be, I say ladybug, I don't know the gender really. She's probably eating something. So from that little morsel that he or she is eating, how many things will come about? So I think like people listen to music and it has very powerful influence on people's lives. And a lot of it is anger, a lot of it is cursing and expressing dissatisfaction. And it all starts, as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, from contemplating the objects of the senses. One develops an attachment, and from that comes the attachment comes very strong, lust. And from lust comes anger. From anger, or you can say greed even before that. Greed, and from greed comes, contempt and anger, and then you lose your intelligence. Everything just falls apart. You end up falling into the pool, the big pool of material existence. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of angry people, and if you count your blessings, you won't be angry because they're just counting what went wrong. And there's a lot of things that have gone right, but they're not looking at that.
Well, religion has been so maligned that people like these have no place to turn to. They've been told there's no God, so
Yeah.
Who do you turn to? I think, you can't even tell people this, that, they really need God in their lives.
I think even if they don't want to hear it, it's still a good message.
Yeah.
Because everyone will come to some kind of terms. They hit a threshold. Said maybe I should go to God. Maybe there is someone there. I agree with you. Religion has been maligned terribly, and I do believe it is a plot to get everyone to not believe in a higher power, but rather to be a vulnerable member of the capitalistic society, and you'll end up with a lot of people just end up being absolutely lonely. So it's always good to, even if God is not real, make it up then. God is just a fantasy, but it kind of works. A lot of people, their lives have been saved. It's one of those little mystical things, if I can use that term properly. Have God in your life and things start working. Eliminate, and then everything seems to go wrong.
Maharaj.
Yes.
And you know what? And I remember like last week, I normally don't give money or anything to these people, but last week I saw the same situation. There was this homeless guy in the light, and he was just like so happy, and the sign said, "Smile, God loves you." And I normally don't give anything to them, but I honked the horn, and because it's really hot here, and I gave him a bottle of water, and I said, you know what, I gave him $1. And it's not much, I know it's not much, but I gave him something, and he was so happy. And it's true, God loves you. So I was like, you know what, you deserve it, man. So I gave.
Nice. I remember I was in someone's car, and you remember the squeegee kids? They would they would clean your windows when you came to a stop, and they were anticipating a little remuneration, a little some coins or something like that. Remember one guy, he came to where I was, and my driver just drove a little, was indicating, no, I don't want to give to you. And he said, enjoy your dirt. So the humility had just gone right out the window. Where is the sincerity? So I guess, what we could do, we've touched on a lot of good stuff, and I really appreciate everyone who's contributed something. Truly, I think it's good. We went deep in some areas here, and I think maybe just to give everyone a chance here on the call, let's do a little debriefing, and let's a little reflection. Give us your takeaways. Is that okay? You give us a sentence. We'll give you the honor to give us a sentence. Hare Krishna. Will you offer it now?
Yeah,
We can start with Murali.
Murli, can we see your beautiful face?
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna, Swamiji.
Okay. All
No, I
right.
got the answer. I got a question for the answer the other way around. 7.27. So I marked it down and wrote some notes for myself. So when anybody
Okay.
would ask me that question, I know what the answer is.
Good. I'm glad that was helpful for you.
Very much.
Yes. Good. That's why we're here. We're here to share wisdom, information, knowledge. Yes. Good. Vaishnavi, go ahead.
Chandra.
Just start to get a little windy.
Can I do next, Mataji?
Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Mansi Ganga.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Serving unfortunate souls pleases Krishna.
Yes. Serving unfortunate souls pleases Krishna. Yes, absolutely.
Dharma Prabhu.
Yeah, if one cannot serve, you serve them.
Haripad.
Hi, very good.
Queen Kunti welcomes unfortunate circumstances because it says it reminds her of Lord Sri Krishna.
Jai, beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
Arjuna.
I'll say be appreciative, be thankful, because Krishna gives you blessings every single day. And we should be thankful every day.
Wonderful. Nice.
Rasaraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. During all the problems of the Pandavas, Draupadi used to meditate on the verse Mama Bhaktya Pranashyanti, like my devotee cannot be vanquished. So this is our blessing. Like we always remember, and this gives a lot of encouragement. Hare Krishna.
Nice. Nice.
Anand.
Like yes.
Ananta Sesha.
Gratitude is, in my opinion, is the most important. Gratitude to Krishna is the most important quality to develop.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Purna Chandra, can you go now?
Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna. Okay. I want to say, okay, always keep Krishna in the middle because we always have to go through the goods and bads in life. So something bad happens, we kind of think, okay, Krishna is not there, but we always have to see something good about the bad situation.
Mm,
Sudas.
very good.
Hare Krishna. Count your blessings, and also I think there's going along with that. There's a tendency sometimes to think God is is there to serve us or to give us like a waiter or whatever we want, and that's not the attitude to have. We should be grateful for what we have.
Ritam.
Hare Krishna. Let our free will be aligned with Krishna's will.
Nice. Okay.
Very good.
And I'll go,
Yes.
Maharaj. I think my takeaway is that Sri Krishna is the ultimate conductor of the cosmic orchestra.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Naman and Violet.
keep yourself in check. Krishna is
great.
facilitating, but you're responsible. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, very good. Very good.
Yeah, I'll add to this from the robbery point that like someone said that why, like someone can say Krishna did the robbery, Krishna is the doer. Krishna is absolutely good. He's the source of all goodness. So whatever he does, everything, it is always for the benefit of humanity. So if the robbery results in the benefit of humanity really in a genuine way, that is how we can determine if it was really Krishna who did it. And if we do it with our lust, then it will only lead destruction in its wake.
Uh-huh. Nice. Yes. Thank you. Beautiful.
Sankalpa.
Mode of ignorance is the pain of Kali Yuga.
Mode of ignorance is the pain of Kali Yuga. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Good observation.
Uday.
Being grateful enriches our existence.
Enriches our existence, you said?
Yes.
Yes, you're right. You're very right. Mhm.
Vasanta.
Hare Krishna. We should have full trust in Bhagavan Krishna that even in our darkest hours, he will guide us.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Guide out, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, super soul, everything control.
Okay. Right to the point.
Only devotional service.
Right. Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, help, at least whoever is unable to do things right now, we should be able to help them.
Yes. Always look for opportunities for service. Mhm. All right.
I think we are done, everybody.
We are done. Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to discuss with you all. We went through one verse again today, and it covered a lot of nice territory. And I'm going to have my lunch now, and I hope to see you all next week. And Murli, Prabhu, you're the person who wanted to talk about Peterborough.
On a lighter note, before we leave, I couldn't help thinking that ladybug could be any of the 52 genders out there.
Okay.
Yes, Maharaj. I'll give you a quick call after that.
How about after an hour?
After an hour, sure.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so
Call you
much.
at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
And Rasaraj, I also need to talk to you. Can you call me in about an hour and a half?
Sure, Maharaj. I'll call.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Prabhu. We see you next week.
Hare Krishna.
Where are we going to be next week? Quebec. Going to be in French Canada. Hopefully the service will be okay. All right. So thank you. Bless you all.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Jai Obesis.
Kalpatarubhyascha.
Rupasya Kripasindhubhyascha Bhaktivedanta
Namo Namah. Jai Haribol, Haribol.
Haribol.
Jai Maharaj.
Jai
Jai
Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.